garage door opener can be controlled right from my smartphone. You'll know when a door or gate has been left open and can close it with a tap, no matter where I am. Be one of the first 10 callers and receive 20% off a LiftMaster garage door opener. Call 1-800-FIX-A-DOOR. That's 800-FIX-A-DOOR. Or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck. Uncle, Kate's gonna leave me, and I need your advice. What's the problem, John? She thinks I'm cheating on her, but I'm not. It's just that I have ED now, and I don't know why. Don't worry. The same thing happened to me. All men lose testosterone with age, and this can cause ED. I went to Balanced Medical Solutions, and they helped me rebalance my hormones. Now your aunt is happy again, and I lost weight, too. Thank you. I'm gonna call them today. Guys, stop suffering. Call Balanced Medical Solutions now at 510-679-3300 or visit balancedmedicalsolutions.com. Introducing the new $6 barbecue grilled chicken half sandwich. Gotta have it meal deal. Just gotta have it. Did accounting approve this? Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra. Offer includes one barbecue grilled chicken half sandwich, one side, and one regular fast drink. No substitutions. For a limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers. Want the very latest in sports? Listen for the Bay Area Chevy Dealers Sports Desk. Visit BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
KCBS News Time is 8:48. KPIX5 meteorologist Paul Hagen will have a look at your 6-day forecast, but we have a serious crash in Richmond. That's right. I just heard from my buddy AG on the phone for us, who's usually out there doing road work, but we have a serious crash that happened in the construction zone. So Interstate 80 eastbound and westbound, all lanes are blocked temporarily because of this motorcycle crash. So we see a serious delay both directions right now of Interstate 80. It's backing up on the westbound side from Richmond Parkway all the way over to San Pablo Dam Road where the crash occurred. And on the eastbound side, backing up from Cutting Boulevard all the way over to San Pablo Dam Road. So if you are headed in either direction on Interstate 80, try to get off before you get involved in this delay. It's a really serious backup and no word yet on when these lanes will be open. So if you're traveling westbound, hop off at Richmond Parkway, eastbound, hop off at Solano Avenue. Your next update, 8:58 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Temperature still a little below average across most of the Bay Area today, but we are in for a warm-up away from the water over the next few days. Temperatures are going to return to near average on Wednesday. That means still near 60 degrees at the coast, but mostly low 70s around the Bay with a mix of 80s inland, low to mid 80s for most of us, but some spots in the North Bay are going to be staying in the upper 70s thanks to that southwesterly breeze. Temperatures really spike by Thursday and Friday. That's when inland communities are mostly going to be well into the 90s. Some of the lucky ones may stay in the upper 80s. But it's only a 2-day heat wave. Temperatures return to near average by Saturday and Sunday, and that heat will stay inland. Temperatures around the Bay and along the coast only warm up a couple degrees. For KCBS, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Paul Hagen. Don't forget we have local news for you tonight at 8 and 9 p.m. on PIX Plus.
Thank you, Paul. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Deborah Ingerson is out at the editor's desk tonight. I'm Elisa Clancy. After 6 months as mayor of San Francisco, Daniel Lurie is giving up on one of his key campaign pledges, providing 1,500 new beds for the homeless. For more, KCBS announcer Steve Scott spoke with KCBS insider Phil Mateer.
So, Phil, what happened?
A couple of things. Space and money. I mean, the bottom line is, Steve, it sounded good as a campaign promise to try to get 1,500 more beds for the homeless, which San Francisco sorely needs. At the time, people questioned it, ourselves included, said, how are you going to do it? We didn't get details, but he got elected. And a couple of months after getting elected, he realized that it wasn't going to happen. So the first thing they did was redefine what a bed was. Was it an existing bed that's going to be repurposed, let's say, instead of for short-term housing, then for addictions? Is it going to be, then it became a question about which beds are going to be used for long-term versus short-term, and then they found out that there were actually some beds that were going to be coming off because the hotels were closing down. The long and the short of it, rather than 1,500, he actually got about 195 new beds out there. But he said, instead of saying, that it was a mistake, he says, it was maybe over wishful thinking, and now he's redirected his people to use our beds that we have more effectively. But one of the things that was out there was San Francisco spends about $1 billion a year on various homeless housing issues, and adding another 1,500 would be $60 million, and I don't think the city has it. So that's what we have right now, a refiguring of the homeless after 6 months in office. Surprise, surprise.
Bill, you've covered a lot of mayors. New mayors always get what they call a honeymoon period, a grace period where they kind of settle in. How is Daniel Lurie doing?
Well, he's doing, I'm going to take a little bit of an exception with that. In the first 6 months of Gavin Newsom as mayor, you remember, he rocketed up to the international spotlight by declaring gay marriage legal in San Francisco. That was a game changer for the mayor and for the city. Mayor Ed Lee, who followed him, had a very rocky first 6 months. It was coming out of recession, and he proposed something called the Twitter tax, which was made an issue. London Breed had a rocky first 6 months because of the fighting politically between the progressives and the moderates. Daniel Lurie, I'm going to tell you, he's had a calm sail because the city has changed. There was a time when he would face a lot of criticism over this failure to come up with the 1,500 beds, but now most San Franciscos I talk to, they just want streets are clean and streets are safe. And so the bar is lower for him. He hasn't gone onto the national stage. He appears to be the guy that's trying to take care of business in the city, and that's what people want. Whether he succeeds or not is a different issue, but he's doing what the people want, which is staying home, staying close, and trying to solve the problems on the ground level rather than going for national attention.
Remember when the actress Sally Field once famously said, "You like me. You really like me." I mean, is that the case with Daniel Lurie?
I'm going to hold off on that one until for 6 more months, because right now people are saying, we're giving him a chance, we're giving him a shot. We like it, we like it. Now, in 6 months, if that's the same story, we'll see. But okay, let's take a look at him after the end of the year as well.
That was KCBS insider Phil Matier. Phil will be back tomorrow morning at 7:50. Moving on to your Money Watch with Monica Ricks.
Taco Tuesday could get more expensive if the U.S. doesn't renew or extend a decades-long deal with Mexican tomato growers. A lapse would unleash a 17% tariff on fresh tomatoes, which economists say would lead to higher prices and lost jobs. Stocks sluggish today as President Trump confirmed the U.S. will not offer extensions to his August tariff deadline. The Dow lost 166 points, about 0.4%. The Nasdaq up 0.03, adding 6 points. The S&P down 4, about 1/10. Nissan scaling back production for its new Leaf electric vehicle model because China's rare earth export restrictions have led to a shortage of parts. Amazon sales were down 14% in its first few hours of Prime Day, but Prime Day is now 4 days instead of 2, with billions in sales expected by the end of the week. And breakfast may never be the same again. Cereal giant General Mills has partnered with Hormel to make bacon-flavored Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-431-2715. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715. 800-431-2715.
Hi, it's Daniel from John By's Bay Area Houses. We hear from homeowners every day who need to sell fast, whether it's a life change, a problem property, or they just can't wait around.
When I inherited my grandmother's house, it felt like too much to handle.
Being a landlord was draining me. All those constant repairs and tenant issues. At John By's Bay Area Houses, we make selling your house simple. Sell as is without any fees, commissions, or hassles. Call 510-800.
seriously injured here. Now they have managed to open some lanes. So on the westbound side, westbound 80, all lanes are open, and eastbound, we've got the 2 left lanes open. So if you're traveling east on Interstate 80, try to get over to the left to get through this backup a little bit faster. And if you're traveling westbound, just hang tight. All lanes are open, and traffic should start to dissipate here pretty soon. It is still a difficult ride on 80 in either direction, so you may just want to take Richmond Parkway as your alternate. Traveling eastbound, you may want to hop off around Cutting Boulevard or Solano Avenue just to get around some of this very heavy traffic here. If you're traveling across the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, that earlier problem we had on the eastbound side has been cleared out of the way. No longer any delays in either direction there. Your next update, 9:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Thanks, Rebecca. The fog and clouds are back. Not as thick as it has been the last couple of nights. Coast and Bay, lows in the 50s. Tad bit warmer inland. Tomorrow you'll be up in the upper 80s, right around 90. Still cool, 60s and mild 70s, coast and Bay. Traffic and weather together on KCBS. It's Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025. Coming up on KCBS.
I'm David Welch in San Jose, where San Jose police arrested one of their own for an inappropriate relationship with a minor. Unlike a wall in Marin County, neighbors will come together in prayer for a family still missing after the devastating flooding in Texas.
And the IRS says churches can now endorse political candidates. I'm Melissa Clancy. CBS News covers our world. Coming up next. When you need to know.
KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Odyssey Station.
9 o'clock.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz. The death toll from flash floods in Texas is now at least 110, and many more are missing. CBS's Nydia Cavazos is in
The
Kerrville.
latest update now includes 161 people who are missing. And this includes people from Camp Mystic, but people who were not necessarily registered with the camp. They were not staying at a hotel, but whose family members have reached out and they are looking for answers.
And Kerr County officials are now saying they proposed creating a more robust flood warning system, but members of the public objected to the cost. As if they don't have enough problems, residents are having a hard time getting rid of the debris left behind in the floods. CBS's Jared Eggleston has that.
At the dump in town, residents are actually being charged to currently dispose of their debris. Normally there's a voucher system and residents here can throw large things away at the dump twice a year. But right now, if residents don't have those vouchers, they're actually being charged for the debris. That is something the city says it is currently working on with state officials.
Israel and Hamas are reportedly close to agreeing on a ceasefire in Gaza. Details from CBS's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
There's renewed hope for a potential 60-day ceasefire in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. The president's top Middle East negotiator says the talks are down to just one unspecified issue, and he's hopeful an agreement can be reached by the end of this week.
The city of Los Angeles, LA County, and several other cities have sued the Trump administration in an effort to stop ICE from conducting large-scale raids. City Attorney Heidi Feldstein Soto says large-scale immigration raids are sowing fear and chaos.
These unconstitutional roundups and raids cannot be allowed to continue. They cannot become the new normal.
In the reversal of long-standing policy, the IRS now says churches can endorse political candidates.
Federal law does not allow tax-exempt nonprofits to campaign, but in a new court filing, the IRS says that ban should not apply to houses of worship speaking to their own members. The agency likens it to a family discussion about candidates. 2 Texas churches and a group of Christian broadcasters sued the IRS, demanding all nonprofits be allowed to endorse candidates.
CBS's Michael Wallace. Officials in Greece shut the country's most visited ancient site, the Acropolis.
7 people killed in the blast have been recovered. The Yolo County coroner still working on positively identifying them. Forward progress was stopped on a fire burning in Alameda County. Victoria Fire scorched 15 acres near Victoria Lane and Tesla Road in the Altamont. It's now 85% contained. Chelsea Burkett, Public Information Officer for CAL FIRE's Santa Clara unit, says crews have been successful in their firefighting efforts.
Ground resources remain at scene. They're going to continue to implement and strengthen containment lines and start to mop up the fire.
Burkett says structures are no longer in danger.
Firefighters will continue to monitor that and make sure that all the hazards are mitigated so that we don't have any further issues.
And KCBS will continue to keep you posted as we learn more. A longtime San Jose police officer has been arrested on multiple counts of sexual misconduct with a minor. As KCBS's David Welch reports, though it allegedly happened nearly 20 years ago, the victim only recently came forward.
22-year veteran officer Saul Durant was placed on administrative leave and arrested yesterday on 5 counts of lewd and lascivious acts with a minor. San Jose Police Chief Paul Joseph says detectives learned about the alleged crimes after the victim disclosed their relationship.
The alleged crimes occurred between 2008 and 2012, while Duran was a facilitator in a Santa Clara County program called the Parent Project. It provided guidance to parents and best practices for raising their children.
Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeffrey Rosen defended the program, saying this is the first time in its history they've had any issues with volunteers.
This is an extremely successful program, the Parent Project, and one that I'm very proud of, with hundreds of local families successfully graduating classes.
But Chief Joseph says the fact that one of their officers is involved weighs heavy on the department.
I have ordered an immediate review of all policies and procedures for all specific programs involving minors.
In San Jose, David Welch, KCBS.
And the search goes on for the dozens still missing following the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country, including a family from the North Bay. KCBS's Mike DeWald reports from Marin Catholic High School in Kentfield, where the community came together today with a prayer vigil for the family.
Teams in Texas searching a more than 60-mile stretch of terrain about a